So I just saw Trap, the latest from M. Night Shyamalan. Let's talk about it. Written, directed, co-produced by M. Night Shyamalan, stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Allison Pill, Haley Mills, the Haley Mills, and I can't pronounce her first name, Seleka Shyamalan. She plays Lady Raven. She is one of M. Night Shyamalan's daughters. She's gorgeous. So the Philadelphia Police Department and the FBI have decided to set a trap at a concert for this artist called Lady Raven to catch the Butcher. It's no secret, this is not a spoiler, it's in the trailer. Josh Hartnett, Cooper Adams, is our Butcher, and he is able to find out this information from an employee at the arena, and he has to figure out a way to get out undetected. Okay. Now, you have movies that are undeniably good, and then you have movies that are just unfortunately bad, and there's no arguing there. With this, there is no right or wrong answer. You're either going to love this or you're not. There really isn't much in between. Yeah, this is going to be a hit or miss for you. But that's Cousin M. Night, though. He's always been like that since 1999. He's either hit or miss. There really isn't much in between here. I feel like this is the most in-between movie of his that I've ever seen. It's mid. It's not his greatest. It's not terrible. But I think it's really going to come down to perspective and also perception. You're either going to enjoy this ride or you're just not. Now, the first part of the movie I felt like was great when we're in the venue. Once we leave the venue, it's almost like he couldn't figure out how to end the story, which is weird because he's a talented storyteller. But yeah, once we left the venue, it was just a jumbled mess. And for how short this movie is, it's only like an hour and 45 minutes, give or take. It almost, there was a point where I'm like, this is never going to end. Like, it felt like it was just never going to end. It didn't, the pacing wasn't bad or off. It was just like, we're not reaching a conclusion. Are we getting to a conclusion? Where are we going? I mean, that's the bad part. The story itself is a jumbled mess, which is sad. But it's an effective thriller for the most part. I mean, he keeps tension very well. He's the king of tension. He's one of my favorite when it comes to, making your stomach hurt a little bit as you're anticipating what happens next. I love the way he does it. The way he works with not just the camera, but also the actor. Because he's all about the details. But also what sells this and what really helps to keep that tension in balance is Josh Hartnett. His performance in this is next level. He's so good in this. He was so freaking good. And it's not that, Josh Hartnett was ever a bad actor. I mean, if you're old enough to remember, Josh Hartnett was that dude. He was tall, dark hair, dark eyes, deep voice, and a cowlick that followed him in every film. Just good looking dude, but at the same time, he looks like his dad taught him how to shave in the car on the way to his first day of high school. Just like nerdy jock kind of feel, like awkward jock. That's always been kind of his thing. But they knew what they was doing when they cast this man as a crazy person. He was fine. He's always been fine though. Always. Ever since he almost died in Halloween H2O. And he was on top of the world at one point, 2001, because that's when Pearl Harbor came out. That was his year. That was his year. And then he fell a little bit. He did 40 Days and 40 Nights. And then we didn't see, I think, didn't he do the Black Dahlia? I can't remember when that was. But I know he did that, I think. Anyway, he fell off for a little bit, and we didn't see him as much. And then all of a sudden, he pops back up in Oppenheimer. And there he is, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're still fine. And now here he is crazy. And just the macro and the micro expressions on his face, the subtle and quick changes. Again, the acting in here is very exaggerated, but that's also M. Night Shyamalan. I feel like when it's just he's telling a story, he had an idea and he kind of wanted to flesh it out, so he wrote a story. That's very much like The Sixth Sense. The acting is very natural, but when he has something he wants to say, it's almost like every line that's given has a staccato at the end. It's intentionally over the top to get you to pay attention. And you either like that or you don't. At times in here, it just felt a little too wooden for me. But the way Josh Hartnett, he plays this character where everything that we know about these types of personalities just from maybe profiling shows, or if you've taken a psychology class, it's all there for us to see. We can see all of it. We can see the manipulation. We can see the panic. We can see the tension. We can see the fear. We can see the almost emotionalist when the walls go up, when he has to switch between personalities, when he has to be charming, and then when he can let off that mask and not have to fake it anymore. Like, we see all of that as the audience, but it's interesting. Just know it's weird because we can see it. It's clear, but everyone else around him is just none the wiser. His daughter is clueless. That lady that kept bothering him is clueless. You know, that one excited little employee. Everyone's clueless. Everyone can't see this, how fake this man is, but we can. So yeah, the movie in and of itself is kind of mid, but I think Josh Hartnett's performance is worth the ticket. Watching him is worth the ticket. But for me, on a personal level, I want to watch this again because I found myself at one point taking notes. You know, M. Night Shyamalan, again, because he is all about the details. He has such an interesting relationship with the details. When it comes to heavy-handed direction, and I've talked about this before, I don't like heavy-handed direction. He is the only kind of heavy-handed direction that I will tolerate because, again, everything he does is intentional. Nothing is left to chance. Color, sound, framing, motifs that repeat over and over and over again. There's this thing about glass and reflection, things being broken and shattered, this obsession with things not being whole, and then also his kind of OCD tendencies, the way he folds a napkin and the way he keeps a cup by his seat as a trash can. You know, the way we kind of see this, oh my gosh, maybe I've been sitting in the car too long. I don't know. Yes, I have, because you can see me sweating. Yeah, that's sweat. I always love the little subtle shout outs to Philadelphia. I love it when directors love where they're from and they always either put that little piece somewhere in their pictures or that's just where they like to film them. You know, 9 out of 10 M. Night Shyamalan movies, Philadelphia. I kind of like the way he used the camera to mess with our perceptions of what's honest and what's not. There is a little part in the beginning where he and his daughter are, you know, at a table eating food right before they go in for the concert. And when we're looking at her, we're looking at her straight on. But when we're looking at him, we're looking at him from the side. It's just an interesting little tell that we're not getting a full picture of him. We're getting pieces. And also it's so that we pay attention to what he's doing with his hands. Because the angle is straight up on her face. We're meant to see her excitement, her expressions. But the way we are at an angle, we're supposed to be kind of put off by this slight deception, this little sleight of hand, if you will, but we're also supposed to be paying attention to his hands. This is how, like, M. Night Shyamalan likes to develop his characters, or unfold his characters, if you will, by showing us bits of their personality in the physical. I could do a whole masterclass on M. Night Shyamalan. I swear on my life. Like, for real, for real. I am obsessed with, even when the movie's not that great, I'm obsessed with the way he builds a picture. The movie Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis, that movie's a Bible study, and I'm gonna write it one day. I promise. But yeah, to sum it up, it's mid. You're either gonna like it or you're not. But Josh Hartnett, he slays. Love him so much. It's weird how it can be both things at the same time. It's an effective thriller, I think, but the story is just not thick enough. I think if he had spent more time developing that third act, this would have been spectacular. I'm not one to see movies twice, but I might see this again because I have a lot of questions. Not about the story, just the technique. I'm pretty sure he tried to do a MacGuffin. I'm not sure if it worked though, but I need answers.